There's something about downbeat endings that always fascinates me. And honestly, I think they're often the best kind of endings. In a medium that constantly wants to tie everything in neat little bows, the risk of losing stakes or tension is massive. Flat-out happy endings feel convenient, almost dishonest. They suggest that nothing matters, that the struggle didn't leave scars. The best stories, and television has shown this repeatedly, let the consequences land. Let the grief, the loss, and the sacrifices echo in the world the characters inhabit. There's power in watching a hero survive, but never truly unscathed. A hero who wins but pays a cost. It's dramatic, it's memorable, and it's emotionally honest. Buffy Season 7 understood that more than most, and it dared to take the series to a point where the victories were real, but never painless. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Damon, and today we're diving into Season 7 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the final chapter that expanded the Slayer mythology, tested old alliances, and didn't shy away from breaking hearts and expectations. Season 7 kicks off with a fascinating premise. The world is filled with potential slayers, normal girls with the latent power to take over the mantle of the Slayer. This isn't just a gimmick, it's a structural shift that elevates Buffy's burden to a global scale. But, with this expansion comes complications. Buffy's resurrection from Season 6 caused a rift in the balance of good and evil, and that instability awakens the series' most abstract villain yet, the first evil. Unlike corporeal adversaries of the past, the first doesn't fight in traditional terms. It manipulates, persuades, and erodes trust. It turns allies against each other and hunts the potentials with chilling efficiency. And to enforce its will, it uses Caleb, a misogynistic preacher turned serial killer, and the Turok Han, a breed of vampire so brutal and archaic that they feel almost biblical in nature. I have to say, I absolutely love the return of the high school setting and Buffy working as a counselor. It felt like a deliberate throwback to Season 1, and it gave the series a grounding amidst the mythic escalation. Sunnydale High wasn't just a building. It was a stage for character drama, humor, and the occasional brilliantly tense horror beats. The way the writers revisited the familiar halls while layering in the looming supernatural threat was genius. And it allowed us to see Buffy in a mentorship role, guiding not just potentials but also her own emotional recovery. Speaking of mentorship and new faces, Principal Robin Wood was a fantastic addition to the cast. Mysterious, stoic, and morally complex, he brought a different kind of tension. The reveal of his mother, Nikki Wood, a Slayer killed by Spike years before, was both clever and emotionally charged. Wood's arc, especially his attempts on Spike's life, complicated allegiances in a way that felt authentic. Yes, the setup with Giles manipulating events was questionable, but from a narrative standpoint, it created a believable moral grey area. Wood becomes both an ally and a challenge to Buffy, giving the story layers beyond simple good versus evil dynamics. Now let's talk villains, because this season has an odd mix of hits and misses. The first evil as a concept is incredible. An incorporeal, manipulative force that can take any form, exploiting insecurities and fears. It's a horror concept straight out of psychological thrillers, but its execution often falters. Seeing the first as dead people talking in familiar voices can feel flat, even repetitive, and in some episodes it comes off more as a narrative convenience than a genuine threat. Caleb, however, is a scene stealer. Nathan Fillion owns every scene he's in. He's terrifying, calculated, and wonderfully over the top, which makes moments like him maiming Xander satisfyingly cathartic, something fans had been waiting for, arguably, for the better part of a decade. And the Uber Vamps, Well, the Turok Han are visually and narratively stunning. Seeing Buffy square off against creatures that are physically imposing, ancient, and utterly monstrous makes for some of the best action sequences of the series. And honestly, there haven't been many non-human-looking vampires that felt so intimidating since. Unfortunately, not everything works. The Potentials, while critical to the season's concept, often bog the narrative down. Their constant whining, repetitive speeches about destiny, and uneven character development made for filler-heavy episodes that sapped momentum. Some of these girls felt more like archetypes than real characters, which, diluted the tension. And Giles, arguably the heart of the series' wisdom and moral center, sometimes felt out of character, making questionable decisions that didn't always align with his previous depth. It's easily his weakest season as a character, and that's saying something given the stakes. But the season also shines in character arcs. Faith's return is executed brilliantly. Eliza Dushku brings that chaotic energy we've been missing, and watching her challenge Buffy's leadership while eventually proving her loyalty is honestly thrilling. Dawn, often underappreciated, comes into her own here. Her transformation from the annoying little sister into a resilient, capable presence was impressive, and her involvement in the final battle really highlights her growth. Spike's redemption arc, it really reaches its peak here. Watching him regain clarity, take responsibility, and finally, be named Buffy's champion, well, it's deeply moving, honestly. Their final night together is both tragic and, weirdly enough, satisfying. Buffy openly admitting love, while Spike, ever the cynic, keeps his sardonic wit with that line, "No, you don't, but thanks for saying it." It's heartbreakingly perfect. The interplay between their affection and, the harsh reality of their situation pretty much encapsulates the season's core. Love and heroism, they're never free. They always come with sacrifice. The final act is, devastating. The Hellmouth turns into this apocalyptic landscape. Nearly everyone else flees, and Sunnydale just collapses into a crater. Buffy's leadership is absolutely tested to the extreme, and the deaths of Anya and several new Slayers really underscore that victory comes at a cost. The activation of all the Potentials, the battle against the Turok Han, and Spike's ultimate sacrifice, they're epic, tragic, and, just plain striking. The survivors on the crater's edge, battered and grieving, provide a conclusion that feels earned rather than convenient. It's, bittersweet, hopeful, yet undeniably downbeat. The perfect kind of ending that echoes back to the season's thematic core: growth, loss, and responsibility. Even with its flaws, underdeveloped Potential's uneven villain execution and, occasional character missteps, Season 7 is a bold, ambitious finale. It brings full circle the series' long-running exploration of destiny, power, and sacrifice while delivering some of the most memorable action and emotional beats in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The callbacks, the character payoffs, the thematic resonance, they all work, especially when layered with a willingness to let characters face loss without magical resets. In the end, what really sticks is the emotional truth. Buffy has fought, lost, loved, and survived. She's grown into a mentor, a leader, and someone who, accepts the weight of the world on her shoulders. Spike's sacrifice and their complicated, tender love give the series a human heart, right in the middle of all that supernatural chaos. Faith's redemption and Dawn's growth, they provide hope. The Potentials, flawed as they are, represent the ongoing cycle, that the fight continues and the next generation will bear it forward. So yes, it's messy, yes, it's dark, yes, some beats stumble, but honestly, that's the beauty of it. A downbeat ending isn't a failure. It's a truthful conclusion to a story that, well, never pretended life would be easy. And that's exactly why Season 7 remains one of the most compelling finales in modern television. Next, I'll have to look at Angel. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, like the video, and leave your opinion in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.